There's a couple questions here. I love this question because this is a conversation that does not happen enough in the youth sports space for supporting parents, but is definitely a big issue. So there's two questions here, AB, related to what if your spouse is not aligned
Mm,
and how we handle that. So one parent is asking, what if your spouse or parent, the player's grandparent, is not intentional in their interactions? Is that something I can influence, or must I accept that I can only be responsible for my own behavior and interactions, sort of, if you will, not bring it up? And then another person says, kind of along these same lines, like, what should a parent do when one parent is constantly telling the child they'll never make it, you're going to get cut? If my daughter wants to go to university, I know that having a parent say this to her is not helping. It affects her on the field. So, any suggestions to parents for collaborating, connecting with spouses, co-parents, parents, grandparents, related to all of this?
yeah, great question. And something that I really manage on a weekly basis with all of the families that I support. And invariably, it's not a majority of the parents, but at least 25 to 30% of the families that I support are operating in these conditions, right?
Mhm.
Where mom or dad are not coming from the same place, they don't have the same opinions, or there's someone from the outside that's having influence. And there's a couple of things that come to mind. Number one, which may be a little bit more challenging, is to find someone that you trust that can kind of be in the middle, like myself, maybe a private coach or a trainer or someone that can be an maybe not necessarily a formal intermediary, but someone that can kind of sit in the middle and help both sides see both sides, but ultimately come together at the table to decide what is most important about this. And it always needs to come back to what are the needs of the child.
Mhm.
And if we are both going in opposite directions, what is the potential risk and impact of that happening to our child? We need to personally remove our own things from this situation and come together and say, okay, if we can't agree on anything else, can we have a conversation about what is best for our child and what are the potential risks of us having these two very divergent messages and energies that we bring to the child moving forward? So,
Mhm.
as difficult as it is, because uncomfortable conversations are just uncomfortable. But if we can come together with the intent to create the best conditions possible for our child, that's the only way that it's really going to happen. Unless you've got someone like myself, and I'm happy to do that. Right? I love being in that position to help both sides uncover ultimately what they want to say and give them the space to communicate that and ultimately come together to create like this beautiful synergy for the children.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. I do think these are. I feel like I want to like do a whole webinar on this topic because
Yes.
as parents that are in these situations where they aren't aligned with a spouse or a co-parent, like it's really stressful. And a lot of
Mm,
times it's the case that one parent was an athlete, another wasn't. One of the parents is trying to rescue the child from what they feel like is a stressful situation, but is really just like a growth athletic type situation. So there's lots of nuance to that. I'm glad that we had a little quick conversation about that.